Hola. Afternoon, everyone. Buenas tardes, I suppose. If I had known that Sig Sauer was going to be the gift that kept on giving over the course of the last month or so, then I would have scheduled myself completely differently for the month of July. Because not only have we had several reports come out, several social media public displays of disgust, and several new incidents involving the Sig Sauer P320. But today we have a statement from Sig doubling down on the fact that it is not their fault. That and more, as we hear a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by the Modern Gun School. This is an accredited online university that is built by gun people for gun people. It's designed to be streamlined and cost-effective, unlike the other place that'll rip through people's entire GI Bill. Whether you're looking to break into the gun industry or you just want to learn some stuff, check them out at the Modern Gun School and make sure that you tell them that I sent you. Let's get back to the video. Now, a little bit of bookkeeping here. This originally went out as an email, and I first saw it published by my friend Mike over at Mr. Guns and Gear, but I have since been able to obtain a full text version of the original email with all the graphics and all that sort of stuff to verify its content. Not that I would think that Mike would misrepresent it or anything, but I just rest assured that I have actually looked at the original, and I have also taken the liberty of condensing this down into just words because there's a whole bunch of graphics, videos, inserts in the actual email, and this is just what the email says. You guys get what I'm saying. I can't have Sig Sauer advertising imagery in a video on YouTube, right? And now I'm going to read this whole thing to you because I think it's important to understand what Sig is actually saying out there, and then we'll come back and respond to it. Recently, there have been a number of reports and claims regarding the safety of the P320 pistol and its use by the U.S. military and law enforcement agencies. We understand you may have questions. We want to address your concerns and provide you with full, complete, and accurate information. Sig Sauer has always and will continue to put the safety and security of the U.S. military, the law enforcement community, our consumers, and the public first. To this end, we want to be sure concerned citizens have access to complete facts. The P320 pistol is one of the safest, most advanced pistols in the world, meeting and exceeding all industry safety standards. Its design has been thoroughly tested and validated by the U.S. military and law enforcement agencies at the federal, state, and local levels. In addition, the P320 has been rigorously tested and is currently in use by militaries and law enforcement agencies around the world. FBI testing report. A recently publicized internal report from the FBI's ballistics research facility created some confusion and raised questions about the safety of the P320. The FBI prepared this report for the Michigan State Police after an officer was involved in an accidental discharge. Sig Sauer engineers met with the FBI and Michigan State Police on several occasions to review the report and the incident. Ultimately, the FBI conducted a more detailed, repeatable, and comprehensive battery of testing using compatible equipment. The subsequent testing resulted in 0 instances of failures, and the Michigan State Police are now confidently issuing officers the P320-based pistols. The FBI BRF have yet to make any official claims or statements regarding the safety of the P320 pistols or any of its variants. However, we are urging the FBI BRF and the FBI Director Kash Patel to release a full and complete testing and evaluation report on their updated P320 safety testing. Department of Homeland Security. An internal memo from the Department of Homeland Security, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, was recently posted online stating that the agency was halting its use of the P320. Many online media outlets immediately sought to attribute this to the above-referenced FBI BFR report, which is incorrect. DHS has never raised any safety concerns about the P320, and ICE has since extended their existing contract with Sig Sauer another 2 years. Since DHS has yet to comment publicly correcting their improperly leaked memo or any statements questioning the safety of the P320, we are now urging ICE to release all information on the P320 testing. Sig Sauer is honored to continue aiding ICE in their mission to protect America. U.S. Air Force M18. There was a recent tragic incident at F.E. Warren Air Force Base in Wyoming, which resulted in the death of an airman. Because the incident involved the discharge of a P320-based M18 pistol, the Air Force is actively conducting an evaluation of M18 pistols within the specific command where the incident happened. This cautionary step is standard procedure. We proactively offered assistance to the U.S. military as they investigate the incident. Contrary to several online reports, the M17 and M18 pistols remain on active duty within all branches of the U.S. military, including the U.S. Air Force defending freedom around the world. We have absolute confidence in the U.S. military's ability to conduct a thorough investigation and report their findings. As we learn more information about the investigation, we will continue to provide updated information. P320 range and training bans. Following several of these inaccurate reports, a number of ranges, training providers, and training facilities made the reactionary decision to ban the P320 and its use in their facilities. We are actively working to provide these individuals with accurate information along with a detailed understanding of the P320 and its safety features. If you are impacted by the 320 range training provider ban, we urge you to snitch on them to customer service using the following number. The P320 cannot, under any circumstances, discharge without the trigger first being moved to the rear. This has been verified through exhaustive testing by Sig Sauer engineers, the U.S. military, several major federal and state law enforcement agencies, and independent laboratories. As with any gun, the P320 will discharge if the trigger is pulled to the rear. Accordingly, Sig Sauer continues to remind its customers, employees, and the public to employ all safe gun handling practices as spelled out in detail in our product manuals. The Sig Sauer Academy remains a resource to customers, employees, and the public in offering various firearms safety courses. We respect the public's concern and are actively working to provide as much information as possible. We sincerely thank you for your continued support of Sig Sauer and urge anyone with additional questions or concerns regarding the P320 and or safe firearms handling to reach out to our customer service team. Boys and girls, there's a lot in there that we're going to have to wait to see if it stands the test of the time. Like, it seems to me like they are just trying to buy time at this point in time with this thing. With the, well, they haven't actually officially come out and said anything yet. I don't think that that's going to age very well. And I guess in that respect, what I would say is what I have told Sig Sauer throughout this entire situation over the course of probably the last 3 or 4 months. And that is, in the words of the great poet and scholar, Dave Chappelle.
I would fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Now, I don't know anybody Sig Sauer. They don't ask my opinion. They've never reached out to me or any of that sort of stuff. But I'm going to give them my opinion anyway. And that is Sig Sauer. At this juncture, you have screwed this up so badly that there is very little that you can do to fix this situation. I'm going to tell you what that looks like, but it sure as hell is not this. This only makes it worse. I don't think you understand how bad this comes off. I mean, in my previous video a couple days ago, after the situation with Wyoming Gun Project's video came out, I said that this has now entered the collective consciousness. And once it has done that, like before, it was like in a lot of gun people's minds, but it has gone mainstream now. It is, the genie is out of the bottle. You can't put that bitch back. All right. She is here and she is going to wreck you. Moist Critical put out a video on this.
Even people that know nothing about guns can recognize that there's something wrong with this little puppy here.
Now, look, I'm not insinuating that Charlie made a video about not liking the 320 and all of a sudden that's the end of the 320. That's not what I mean. What I mean is when it comes to firearms information and related topics, it's sort of siloed. Not officially, it's not like compartmentalized officially or anything like that. It's freely available out there for anybody to get. But the reality situation is that the firearms community, the Second Amendment community, is a subset of the greater population, right? That is a fact. And generally speaking, the information that free flows in our spaces, though freely available, just doesn't really permeate to the mainstream, quote unquote, sphere. It's there now, and it has done so in the worst way possible, which is, and I've said this before on more than one occasion, having a weapon that even is conceptualized, even if not true, conceptualized to go off without the command of the user is a huge problem for the Second Amendment community. And SIG is doing the worst thing possible here by not properly addressing this. Look, I'll put it to you like this, as simply as I can with some allegory. If your toaster malfunctions and burns your house down, it doesn't really matter whether it was stored within a foot of the paper towels or not, and that was one of the precipitating factors. The truth of the matter is that the toaster is not supposed to do that. It's supposed to bake the bread. It's not supposed to bake the kitchen. If the product malfunctions and causes the damage, then it's the product's manufacturer's fault. And they need to take responsibility for that, which is something that Sig Sauer throws around a lot in some of its statements. And really, what you can distill it all down to with the public angst here is that they're sick and tired of SIG looking like they're trying to duck responsibility. Claims that unintended discharges are anything more than negligent handling and or manufactured lies to support an anti-gun, anti-SIG agenda are false. Furthermore, lawsuits claiming that the 320 is capable of firing without the trigger being pulled have been dismissed in courtrooms around the country. In addition, multiple plaintiffs, so-called experts, have conceded that it is not possible for the P320 to discharge unless the trigger is fully actuated. That was an excerpt of It Ends Today. You guys remember that one. And you'll notice that the language in that statement is substantively different than the language in the most recent statement. In this one, it was fully actuated. The most recent statement is traveled to the rear or moved to the rear. The trigger must be moved to the rear. I suspect that it has something to do with the Wyoming Gun Project's video coming out. Although colloquially, those terms can be used to say the same thing. And I would guess that if I was a betting man, I would say that that ambiguity is part of the strategery here. Now, there's just one more thing that I want to touch on in this video today, even though we can make an hour-long video about this, because there's so much wrong with this statement. But what I wanted to address was the whole concept of now there's all this new angst out there against the SIG 320, and now a whole bunch of new folks are just now banning their weapons from their training courses. And that is simply not true. SIG 320s have been, shall we say, actively discouraged in many schools for a while now. The truth of the matter is that there are just a fair percentage of folks who work in the training circuit in the firearms space that are silent professionals. They just don't make a big deal about it. In fact, I would point you to a video that just came out a couple days ago from John Correa over at Active Self-Protection. I have met John, and he's the kind of guy that I take at his word. And he said, we didn't issue a formal statement or anything, but we just told people when they bring their gun that we'll give them a rental because we can't accept the liability of having this unknown.
We, Active Self-Protection, has quietly not allowed them in our classes. We haven't made an announcement on that.
Now, in closing today, I mentioned previously that there's very little that SIG can do to fix this situation, to start to restore their reputation and ultimately save their business. Because look, right now, people are very focused on the SIG 320, but when a company behaves this way, it starts to speak about their affection for the broader base. And the narrative will very quickly start to shift to, if they're going to treat people this way over the 320, then why would you buy from them at all? So I'm telling you, it's going there. So very simply, SIG, you have to come out with a public statement and say, look, we got this one wrong, guys. we can't even figure out how to replicate this problem to be able to identify what it actually is. And because of that, we are saying that this product line is tainted. The 320, the M17, and the M18 lines are tainted. We do not know what it is. We cannot say to what percentage of that product line is tainted. More than 100 people have been injured. And because of that, we are ceasing production on the Sig 320 and all its derivatives, and we are issuing a formal recall on all of the pistols. That's going to hurt. But I'm telling you, if you don't do it and you don't do it soon, this bitch is going tits up. And there ain't no coming back. And I like SIG products. I have several. I have tens of thousands of dollars of SIG products. And I would really prefer them to be around to be able to service those weapons when they finally need serviced, even though none of them have really needed service up to this point. Of course, I don't own a SIG 320. That's what I have to say about it. And hopefully this is the last video that I ever have to make about SIG. But they're just fucking this one up so bad that it's unbelievable that they could handle this badly. And this statement, I don't have high hopes. And that's what I got for you today.